Hi, welcome to the Loshak and the Bag Show for June 29th, 2021. Are you looking for winning sports picks? If so, you've come to a decent place, right? If you look around, you could find a better place. But, most places that you would find are at least a little bit worse than this place. So welcome to the show. He's Jimmy the Bag. I'm Peter Loshak. We're going to cover MLB. Jimmy the Bag, MLB is over. I don't want to jinx myself because long-time viewers of my shows know anytime I say anything even a little bit positive about myself, bam, I come back and get jinxed, immediately, usually that hour, if not that day. But I'll say it anyway. Overall, I'm doing quite fine in baseball so far this year. I know you're continuing your winning, right, Jim? Well, what's going on with you?
We've hit our high watermark yet again after Friday's 5-2 plus 2.64 unit day. So we're sitting 177 wins, 142 losses, 55.5% plus 16.95 units, ROI plus 5.31%, average line minus 111. So this is as good as it's ever been for me, and which makes me extremely nervous because
you should.
I have 9 bets already made today, and what has changed is that instead of the idea that getting your action in the night before, your ROI will be that much higher, my ROI is much higher on bets that I work out here on the show with the great cappers in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm nervous. I'm nervous, very, very nervous. And 2 totals went way against me. Mm-hmm. And I had a sneaking suspicion that they might last night, and I was like, I still fired away. Because one thing that's been working, Pete, is because we're succeeding so much on the show, I didn't bet any baseball Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'm not going to bet without you guys.
Excellent. And it hints at a great piece of betting advice that I would give to all bettors who are watching the show, newbies and intermediates. I've been doing this a long time, so I've learned a thing or two in my time, trial and error. Obviously, you always want to get the best line. Obviously. And if you like a bet and you feel very confident that it's going to move, of course, you should jump on it on the overnight line. I jump on lots of overnight lines. Perfect example of that. I was going to tweet out, attention, all low baggers on Sunday. Garrett Cole against Erod. Over was the obvious play there. It opened at 8.5, closed at 9.5. It came a little bit close at the end, but I didn't because I didn't want to, it just makes me feel emotionally uncomfortable when I tweet out a play, especially when it's like, jokey, this is an awesome play like that. But my point is that, of course, you want to always get the best line no matter what in any betting situation. But for that, that's something that really expert bettors should be thinking about more than confidence in your play. It's much more important to have confidence in your bet and to really feel good that, even if it loses, you're okay with it because, good bets also lose all the time. If it's more important to do that, to do your research and to be, happy and good with the idea that if it loses, that's okay, that you made the right decision anyway. So yes, I feel the same way, Jimmy the Bag. I hit overnight lines a lot of the time, only when I'm very, very confident that the line is going to move in my favor. But usually I'm waiting until the day of game and sometimes, hour before.
Yeah, I made a mistake with 2 totals, and I'm nervous about them. I easily beat the market moves on the favorites that I bet, but we will get into all of this very soon because we have a gorgeous 15-game card to attack. Shout out to all the cappers joining us. Got Brandon Lugo in the house, Christopher Gargaro, who has caught the attention of many, many cappers of late. Absolutely spectacular work. 24-10-1 on the K-prop spin unders. Since the Spider Tack issues have come out, 24-10-1. Great job, says Rich Hill, Bueller, and Caleb Smith. Very, very interesting there. Nuke Worker coming to us live from sizzling Darlington Nuclear Plants. It's time to cool off in my office with Loshak in the Bag. We love you, Nuke Worker.
Hey, Jimmy the Bag, what I just said, was that clear? All I was trying to say was that it's, a lot of times, if you're not an expert bettor, you can find yourself jumping on overnight lines too quickly, and then the day of game, realizing that you had some sort of read on the game that you now think is wrong, and now you're stuck with the bet. That's all I was trying to say.
No, absolutely. No, it was very salient. I liked it. I liked it a lot. No, don't worry about a thing.
It made sense because I made that mistake myself. When I was a beginner and an intermediate, I noticed that I was jumping on overnight lines too much.
For me, it's the totals. The totals, I'm riding my high horse a little too much. With favorites, we know that you're going to smash the market move most of the time. And when you don't, it's a huge red flag. And we'll get into all of that here on the show. There's razor sharp picks in the house. We got Slats 45. So I think Habs just found out this round might be a little tougher than the other series. Tampa looks good. Cooper keeps number one line away from Deneau all game long. He can coach. There's Gerardo Hernandez, Nilo, Matty Ice, Stardy, Taint play today. By the way, Pete, Taint just keeps rolling right along. 32 wins, 17 losses, hitting at 65.3%. Taint.
That's better than me. Better than I'm doing.
Better than I'm doing. There's Red Girl in the house whom we love dearly. DC. Corey Mack. We haven't seen enough of Corey Mack, man. Great to see you. Says Low Baggers for life. God bless Loshak.
Shout out to you. Hey, God bless Corey Mack 2005. Yeah. And actually, Jimmy, one more note about what you said. Yeah, I mean, when you're betting the overnight lines, yes, just keep in mind that the most important factor that you're looking for is not necessarily how much you like the play, but which way you think the line is going to move. If you like a play and you think it's going to move in your favor the next day, obviously you hit it. But if you don't necessarily think that the line is going to move, then then there's no real reason to jump on it on the overnight line. There's a game we'll talk about today that's a little bit like that. I'll tell you right now, just preview, I was kind of leaning towards taking the Yankees today, but the overnight line was pretty high, and I was like, you know what? I bet money's going to come in on the Angels. I bet it's going to get bet down. So even though I like the Yankees, I'm not sure if I like it now, but I specifically did not take it on the overnight line because I thought that the line would move in the opposite direction.
Same thing with me on that spot because I was saying that Jameson Taillon, his second straight home start last week, was going to have a good start. Now he's his third straight home start. I think it's a very interesting look on Taillon. There's Nutflush Allen who says a trend we've been cashing on for years. Teams going into the All-Star break with losing seasons will give up a lot of runs. Rich G says, my favorite pitch you might find better.
Allen. Shout out to Nutflush Allen, man.
Yeah, he's great. He's so great.
Keeping an eye out for shit like that.
You might find better, but you won't pay less, says Rich G. I like it. Trotwam of Von Polo on the Reds money line. I can't wait to talk about that game. There's so many games I want to talk about. So let's get right to work. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. We have so many great friends and cappers in the show. Thank you for rolling with Loshak in and the bag, ready to get to work right now. Tyrone Coleman, Leroy Flood, Bleds W. Okay, Pete, we have Ricky Levine. Look at all these OG low baggers. Thank you guys so much.
Shout out to everyone. And they can find a show with a few more winners, but most other shows they could find would have fewer winners than us.
And Rocky Manichetti, who we got to hang out with in Vegas long ago, says King Loshak. King Loshak.
Okay.
Anton
Cobwebs here. Let's do some analysis, some hardcore analysis here.
Hardcore analysis coming, but first I'll shout out Anton Gardner coming to us from the Bahamas. All right, let's get to work right now.
I'm ready. This is the look of a fucking guy with a very small but significant MLB edge. Let's go. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. We start off with the Los Angeles Angels, 38-40, 17-21 on the road at the New York Yankees, 40-38, 21-19 at home. We're at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, baby. 87 Fahrenheit, humid. Partly cloudy, 9 miles per hour out to left. We have Andrew Heaney going up against Jameson Taillon. Heaney 4-5, 4.72 ERA, 1.27 WHIP, 68 2/3, 85 Ks, 20 walks, 11 home runs in his last start. It was a 5-0 loss at home versus the Giants. The Giants got him for 10 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 homers in 6 innings, but 0 walks, 10 Ks. So nice work there. And then Jameson Taillon had a very bad year. So it was a very, very highly thought of prospect, number 1 overall pick coming up. And Taillon went for Tommy John surgery. We haven't seen him in a long time, and he's had a rough start to the year. But last start was very good. 6 1/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 6 Ks, 8-1 win at home versus the Royals. He's 5.18 ERA, 1.32 WHIP on the season. Angels hit righties hard, 255, 747 OPS. Upton has now landed on the DL with Trout, so they're doing this behind Ohtani and Rendon. Yankees versus lefties, 239, 711 OPS. Yankees bullpen, 3.26 ERA, 1.14 WHIP. Angels bullpen been bad all year, 4.85 ERA, 1.43 WHIP. Peter Loshak, my friend, take it away. Well, yeah, I mean, that was a great analysis. The Yankees in general, I have been more often than not on on the train of fading them and expecting them to underwhelm. Yesterday, I had the Angels for sure. Anytime you have a decent team on the road at the Yankees as a decent-sized dog, I'm looking hard at taking them. This spot, though, I'm kind of liking the Yankees here. Heaney, I think we talked about him either in the last show we did or I was in the comments section. But Heaney is a guy who, he's a fastball pitcher, a lot of fly balls, kind of a guy that I had circled as a guy who might, take a little bit of a dip as a result of the crackdowns on the sicky stuff. And, I bet against him. Oh, that was a San Francisco game against DeSclafani. Yeah, that was a big bet for me. I bet against Heaney in his last start big and won. It wasn't that bad of a start, though. He got his strikeouts, no walks. I still think that this is not a great spot for him. I'm still a little bit, I don't think he's going to, suddenly become, Urena or one of these guys getting crushed every start out, but I expect a return to closer to mediocrity from him. And I like the Yankees here. I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. Definitely lean Yankees -1. And that's my take on the game, Jimmy the Bag.
It's a good take.
Yeah.
I completely get it. Let's break it down a little further and look at the market moves. First off, the Yankees against Heaney hitting 275, but with a 758 OPS, so not a ton of power, but 22 for 80 with 3 doubles and 3 home runs. Against Taint, 294, a high average, but just a 706 OPS, 5 for 17 with 3 singles and 2 doubles. Let's move over to see what the market has done with this spot. We have the Yankees opening up at -150, and they're now at -148. So
this is a classic example of high volatility here, right? If the Yankees, I'd be betting them on the 1.5 run line, but just for my psychological well-being, I take -1 for a public play. But with a guy like Heaney in a spot like this, and Taillon as well, high volatility. So if I were going to take the Angels, I'd take them on a reverse run line as well.
And the total's gone from 9.5 to 10. Let's get a quick look and see where the early numbers are here on Sports Insights. We have 2,383 tickets in. So when we're going over the tickets today on Sports Insights, there is not a game with over 3,000 tickets in. So let's just not get too overwhelmed by what these numbers detail. But we have 72% of the tickets and 85% of the cash on the Yankees money line. Yet no move. We have 42% of the tickets on the under and 76% of the cash on the under.
All right, I'll make the Yanks. I'll stop making these just like leans and then being like, oh, but my leans did great. All right, Yanks -1, official play here. I'll just use the Pinnacle lines right now. -148 on the run on the money line and +122 on the run line. So that works out to whatever -110 or something like that. Yanks -1, official play.
Official play for Pete, and I can just type this in very, very quickly. -148 and +122 gives you a -112 line on the Yankees official play. That makes sense. Does the fact, Pete, that there's so much of the tickets and money on the Yankees, but the market hasn't moved, is that any kind of a red flag?
For a team like the Yankees, not necessarily. There's always going to be a ton of money on the Yankees, and they are, they were, again, I was expecting them to be overvalued this year, and they have been, but it reminds me a little bit of like the Patriots for like 10 years. The public was on them 90% of the time, every single game, and they covered like 75% of the time or whatever it was. So, the public numbers, the betting numbers, I find them interesting, but everything guides me a little bit, but it's not something that would put me off a bet, for sure.
Ron Crawford back in action. So hello, Pete. Great to see the family back today. And Antoine Seymour, OG low bagger, says Loshak in the bag. What a dude.
Antoine Seymour, huge shout out to you.
All right, so we have Pete on the board with the Yankees -1. And although that was my plan.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, Jim.
I just think I needed a little bit more time on that spot, and I don't want to sit here humming and hawing. But third straight home start for Taillon. Okay. I want the Yanks. I want the Yanks, and I want to ride with Pete here, but I'm going to take a second here, and we'll come back to it. Jason Albert, great to see you. Christopher Carter, Rich G. We move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Pete, Miami Marlins, 33-44, 15-26 on the road at the Philadelphia Phillies, 36-40, 21-14 at home. Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 90 Fahrenheit, humid, 9 miles per hour, out to right center. Trevor Rogers going up against Vince Velasquez. Velasquez has my number, as our viewers know, and Trevor Rogers just took money out of my pocket in his last start. He didn't look as good at home versus the Jays. He allowed 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks, and a 3-1 loss. He's still got a 2.08, sparkling 2.08 ERA, 1.04 WHIP, 86 and 2/3, 101 Ks, 28 walks, and just 4 home runs allowed on the season. Velasquez got raked in his last start, 4 1/3, 3 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks, 13-12 loss at home versus the Nationals. Marlins don't hit righties, 233, 671 OPS. Phillies versus lefties, 259, 749 OPS. Marlins bullpen, the middle of the bullpen, so strong. 3.53 ERA, 1.16 WHIP, and numbers continue to improve, but they can't close out games. Just converted 14 of 30. Phillies bullpen bad all year, 4.55 ERA, 1.37 WHIP, have converted just 17 of 38. Phillies hope to get Jean Segura back in the lineup tonight, Pete. And let me just give you the odds here. The total opened up at 8. The Pinnacle has gone up a full run to 9. And Rogers, opening up at -117, is now sitting at -110. So a 7-cent move towards the Philadelphia Phillies. Pete Loshak, take it away.
First, shout out to Nasty Nate and shout out to Williams Fun Videos. That's a guy who says nice things about me all the time. I love that. There you go. That hair shake is for you, Williams Fun Videos. This one, I've had an okay read on Velasquez his whole career. His deal is that, he throws really hard, but he's a fastball pitcher, not a lot of movement on his stuff. And, if you're throwing 98 straight balls to major league hitters, you're going to be okay, but you're going to get hit a little bit more than people might be expecting. In general, Velasquez is someone who I expect to, he'll have the odd 5-inning 1-run start here and there for sure, no doubt about it. But he has to have a little bit more life to his stuff. He's like a fastball throwing, 98-mile-an-hour fastballs with little movement that will get hit in the major leagues. So, Rogers, I think all year long has been very impressive, and I'm definitely looking to bet on, team total unders when he's pitching at home. This spot, I don't know. His last start was a little bit shakier. This one makes me nervous. So I don't think I'm going to have I definitely haven't bet it yet. I don't have an official play on this one, but I'm vaguely looking at, again, Velasquez to give up a few, Rogers to maybe give up a few. It's a low total. Definitely lean. If I say it's a lean, then I have to write it down on my fucking lean trackers and report it the next day. But, over is definitely a lean for me. And, maybe the Miami team total, or Miami first 5 team total over is a lean for me. And probably the first 5 over would be a lean as well. Not official pick, but since I just said all those 3 things are leans, then they count as leans. So there you go.
Well, we will continue breaking this down, but first, red alert. Taint is in. I repeat, Taint is in. I've copied and pasted it. I'm already on the Braves -1, and he is on the Braves -1.5 at +120. We'll go over this game when we break down that spot. But I repeat, Braves, Mets, Taint is in.
Very nice.
In. Okay, so here we go, Pete. Let's get back to this.
Just one other thing. Yeah, I mean, just like the Phillies bullpen, it was terrible last year. It's been a little bit better this year, but it's starting to get bad again. So, I don't like the spot for Philly here. I think Rogers is maybe, so in general, I'm looking at overs with these low totals.
Yeah, and it makes sense here. One of those spots that probably would have liked to have packed early, but when I see Vince Velasquez on the mound, I get very uncomfortable. Yeah. Rogers, the Phillies hit lefties hard. 259, 749 OPS, and they hit Rogers hard, 311, 948 OPS against them. Vince Velasquez against these Marlins, 366, 945 OPS, and a lot of that happened in front of us at the Miami Low Bag Summit of Champions when the Phillies were up 8-1 in the third inning, and I had the Phillies first 5 -0.5, and I didn't catch it because Velasquez got hit for another 9 runs in the next 2 innings, and we were down.
One thing that I'm definitely not looking at that some people at first glance might is Miami first 5. That's definitely not something I'm looking at. So I'm thinking about over first 5 over and Miami first 5 and Miami full game team total overs.
And we have some great stuff coming in here from the chat. Razor Sharp picks Gamblers first glance is the Phillies money line +105. Versus Miami, that's our guy, Razor Sharp's Gamblers first glance. And then we have Sharpie saying Rogers allowed 3 runs, 13 innings versus Phillies this year. I expect more of the same. I'm on the first 5 under 4.5. You can see it too.
Okay, look, anytime you're betting on a Miami over, especially a first 5 over, it's a little bit treacherous. But again, Rogers could get nicked up. Yeah, it's a tough game. I didn't bet it yet, and they're not official picks. But since I said they're leans, they are leans. 61%
of the money line tickets on the Miami Marlins, just 20% of the cash, though. 80% on the Phillies. Then we have 41% of the tickets on the under and 96% of the cash, but that's confusing because the total's gone from 8 to 9. When did those bets come in? It's hard to tell. Before we move on, Pete, one of our most favorite people in the world, Mama Nut Flush in the house. She says, "Hi, Pete. So good to see you back."
Mama Nut Flush, congratulations to you on your whole life. Finding a good family. I mean, that's pretty much everything. That's pretty much everything in life. Would I rather have, 1,000 sports betting winners or just a loving family? That's tough, but I choose a family. I choose a loving family. It's tough, though. That is tough, though. But I choose a family. Congratulations to you and shout out to you.
Let's keep rolling. I have 9 bets on this card already in, but none in the first few games, although that Yankee's still calling at me. Marlins Phillies just makes me uncomfortable. We move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Tampa Bay Rays at Washington Nationals. Rays are 47-32, 24-16 on the road at the Nats, 38-38, 22-18 at home. Nats Park in Washington, D.C., 89 Fahrenheit. Humid, clear, 8 miles per hour to straightaway center. We have Rich Hill, whom I love dearly, up against Joe Ross. Now, we've heard that my 41-year-old Rich Hill spin rate has gone down drastically with the sticky stuff situation. But his last start was good. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 5 walks, 5 Ks, 8-2 win at home versus the Red Sox. On the year, he's been good. 3.52 ERA, 1.08 whip, 6-2. Looking good. Joe Ross coming off a great start in a spot where the Taint play of the day was backing him. So we backed him as well. And it was a casher. 7 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 8 Ks, a 7-3 win at the Marlins. He's had a tougher season, 4.12 ERA, 1.21 whip. Rays hit righties hard, 232, 727 OPS. Their issue is against lefties. Nats hit lefties hard, 256, 732 OPS. Rays bullpen is being excellent of late, 3.08 ERA, 1.13 whip. Nats bullpen is moving in the right direction, but mediocre, 3.97 ERA, 1.24 whip, converted 19 of 27. Pete Loshak, Rays, Nats, take it away.
This is a tough one. Well, no, it's not a tough one. There was no overnight line. So, when I was looking at this game, I was doing my analysis, but I was like, and not only was there no overnight line, but a lot of overnight lines, you can pretty much guess what they're going to be if they're not out. This one, I had really no idea. Either team could have been a decent sized favorite here. Hill, I think we covered that in one of our videos. Didn't we cover his last start or something? That was a loss for me. I bet against Hill in his last start. It wasn't a great really start. He didn't give up the runs. I think I lost my team total over on that one, but he gave up a lot of walks, a lot of fly balls. And Hill, as someone said, he's a crafty veteran. He knows how to win in the major leagues. He was definitely using the sticky stuff, but on the other side, he's probably also got like 4 or 5 other tricks up his sleeve that they haven't caught yet. So, respect to the guy, a crafty guy, but he definitely was, benefiting from some kind of, at least a little bit from the sticky stuff. I'm kind of down on him going forward. And especially with the walks and fly balls from the last start, going on the road here against Washington. Again, there were no overnight lines, so I didn't make any bets or even write down any plays that I wanted to recommend here. But definitely looking for Hill to get hit. And, Ross was off a great start, but it was a very easy assignment at Miami. It's probably a little bit of a down spot for him as well, though not as much as Hill. So vaguely looking at the overs, although I didn't even see what the over was, and also a little bit more vaguely, or less vaguely, I don't know which, less or more vaguely, liking a little bit more Washington team total overs and the old first 5 team total over against Rich Hill. I'll see what those lines are right now. But again, I didn't bet any of these because there was no overnight line.
The total's gone up a full run from 8.5 to 9.5. The Rays opened up as a minus 114 favorite at Pinnacle. That has switched. The Nationals are now slight favorites at minus 109. We have esteemed author Luke Murphy has published many very popular books, and great to have him in the chat. Says this is a tough game.
Congratulations to you, Steve Murphy.
Man, it's wonderful. Having all these great guys, great cappers in the chat is very exciting. Okay, so he says leaning towards the dog here. Let's take a look and see where the cash is for this spot. Here we go. We only have 1,500 tickets in, so 29% of the tickets on the Nationals, 41% of the cash. And then we have 68% of the tickets and 47% of the cash on the over, and it's climbing very, very quickly.
The Nats' first 5 team total is the old, 2.5 minus 120. That's very tempting. I guess that does count. I guess that does count as a lean, I guess, since I just said it. Again, no overnight lines. I'd have to look at this game a little bit more before I bet it, but that's what I'm thinking.
Rich G says, ever since the 6 stuff is being discussed, the board is being filled with overs every night. Unders will see no action from me. Unders can, I mean, we're still cashing unders, so let's just let the market hammer them up and then decide if we want to go underneath it. But I hear it. Okay, let's go. Chase White says, Loshak back. I love it. Give me those first 5 ticket cashers, please. We move on to 7:07 p.m. Eastern. Seattle Mariners at Toronto Blue Jays. And this was tricky for me to stay off. I'm going to be honest, but I have stayed off at this point. Mariners are 41-38, 17-22 on the road at the Blue Jays, 40-36, 16-17 at home. We're at Sahlen Field in Buffalo, New York, 78 Fahrenheit, humid, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour, sideways and in. We have KBO star Chris Flexen on the mound, 6-3, 3.87 ERA, 1.25 WHIP, 74 in the third, 50 Ks, 14 walks, 8 home runs. And we know he has great success in his home park in Seattle, a pitcher's ballpark, and he struggles somewhat on the road. In his last start, he looked good at home, 6 2/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 homer, a solo shot, 2 walks, 6 Ks, and a 2-1 win versus the Rockies. And then we have Robbie Ray on the bump. And look, Robbie Ray is being much, much better than he has been in a long time this year. And look, any team could have had him for a cup of coffee this year. 103 Ks, 20 walks. The K to walk ratio has improved enormously. He's changed his foot positioning on the rubber, and it's working. 3.35 ERA, 1.13 WHIP. He looked very good at Miami last out. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. It was solo shot, 1 walk, 6 Ks. The Mariners don't hit lefties, 217, 667. Blue Jays are second in the league versus righties, 265, 785 OPS. The Mariners bullpen 4.20 ERA, 1.23. We're actually starting to pitch better again after they were falling apart. And the Blue Jays bullpen is such a train wreck that I can't take them as this big of a favorite full game. So then I thought, well, first 5, should I back them first 5? And I couldn't do that either. I mean, it's not that, look, Ty France hits them 4 for 7 with a double and a homer. They're 8 for 24, 333, 1.080 OPS. The sample size is small, and I'm saying Ray's a much better pitcher than he's been. It's so expensive to take the Jays. Even at a -1 first 5, we're dealing with minus money, and I couldn't pull the trigger on this big of a favorite. Is there a move that you see here in Mariners Blue Jays beat?
No, I mean, obviously, when I looked at this game, I was leaning Toronto strongly, but then when I saw the opening line of 191, I said that's a little bit too high, didn't pull the trigger. Now it's gotten bet higher up. And, again, you got to be very careful. There's been a lot of big dogs that have won recently. I'm not saying I was on all of them, but I was on a bunch of them. And to any low bagger in the chat right now who bet Houston last night, maybe it's a final expensive lesson to learn. You got to be really careful when in MLB, when you're taking those -300 or -350 favorites. I didn't have Baltimore yesterday, don't get me wrong, but I definitely did not have Houston. And there's been a couple of when the Cubs were like plus 250 or whatever, 220 when I was on them recently. And this is one of those games. If it was 160 or 170, maybe 175, I'd definitely take Toronto here. But over -200, can't do it. Not going to be able to do it.
Very interesting. Matty Ice has Seattle, Toronto, first 5, under 5.5 on my card. I would like to take a look at a couple things here, and one is to look exactly at Flexen, his split. But
he's vulnerable here, definitely. Very vulnerable.
But look at this move. This move is enormous. At Pinnacle, we have a 50-cent move. I don't know if I've said that all year on the morning show, -175 to -225. It's -230 at Bet365. I didn't want it at -192 this morning at Bet365, or last night, I should say.
Right. Some people, think they know what they're seeing something here, and maybe they're in the group of people who thinks they're seeing something and they're right. Maybe they're in the group of people who thinks they're seeing something and they're wrong. Me, it's just going to be a pass for me.
Well, and this total's gone from 10 now to 9.5 at Pinnacle. And I was talking with Nilo this morning, and he was talking about the team total 5.5 with the Jays. And I just, like, my ROI is very poor on team totals over 5.5, and I don't think I bet one. I know I have not bet one all season long. Like, I'm not going to make the same mistakes that I've been making.
Tracking your ROI by bets now and line?
Yes. Let's go to.
Wait, give me a pause here. Not bad.
Thank you.
Not bad, Jimmy the Bag. All right, let's go.
I've learned from you, Pete. I've learned from you. Okay, so here we go. The splits. So at home.
You know why I needed to pause there, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. All right, okay.
I love it. So look at this. So how much do we say the sample size? Maybe we need to. Okay, 48 innings at home. He's 4-2 with a 2.05 ERA. Opponent's batting .234. On the road in 26 innings, He's 2-1, but he has a 7.27 ERA, and the points are betting 355 against him.
Who, Flexen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's very vulnerable here. And, if he was going on the road at Miami, that'd be a different story. This is a bad spot for him, and maybe some of the, big whales with accurate models love Toronto, even at minus 200 or minus 190. Good for them. It's a pass for me.
And it is a pass for me. I initially did think that I could pull the trigger on a first five here on the alternate line. And then when I went to it, I realized that there was no move that I could make very quickly. The Jays, and this has gone up now. I could have got much better a couple hours ago, 2 hours ago. But the first five minus a half for the Jays is minus 175.
Mm-hmm.
The first five minus 1.5 is minus 105. I mean, just too expensive. All right, Joseph Gomez says Jimmy not falling for the banana in the tailpipe this year, literally and figuratively.
I mean, put it this way, if you gave me a free bet on it, I'd take Seattle minus 1.5 at some huge dog line. Seen this all the time in baseball, like an 80-cent move on some big favorite at home, and so some obvious reasons why. And then the road team as a big dog comes back and wins by 3 or 4. So if you gave me a free bet on it, I'd take Seattle minus 1.5. But it's a no play for me.
Let's move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. We have the Detroit Tigers 34-45, 15-24 on the road. And I just had this come over me. God, it feels so good capping with the legend Loshak. What an incredible treat it is for all of us. We miss you, man. We miss you so much, man.
I miss you too. And all the people in the Antwain Seymour, all the people, not Flush Allen's wife, Trotwam, DJ Big Boss, everyone.
Nasty completely washed over me. I was like, God, this feels good, man. Okay,
Look at this. This is ratings. Look at this. Who wouldn't want this show?
Cleveland Indians at home against the Tigers. Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. 82 Fahrenheit, humid, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour. Out to right, we have Jose Urena on the bump. 2-8, 6 ERA, 1.65 WHIP, 69 innings, 42 Ks, 32 walks, and 7 home runs. In his last start, he went 3 2/3, 8 hits, 6 runs. 4 of them earned, 2 walks, 1 K, and a 12-3 loss at home versus the Astros. He's just getting lit up. And not only that, but I don't know if you guys remember that game. That was the game before we knew there was going to be a rain out. It was a travel day for the Astros. It was not even their B lineup. It was probably their C lineup. And they attacked Urena. J.C. Maya on the other side, 1-2, 4.94 ERA, 1.18 WHIP, 23 2/3, 22 K, 7 walks, 2 home runs. His last start was very good, and it was the longest start of his season. It was at the Twins. He got allowed just 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 6 Ks, and a 4-1 win. The Tigers don't hit righties, 231, 691 OPS. Indians are just a tiniest taint hair better at 233, 697 OPS. Tigers bullpen 5.17 ERA, 1.53 WHIPs. Indians bullpen is starting to get hit. This Indians bullpen is not looking nearly as strong as they did in the beginning of the year. 3.40 ERA, 1.26 WHIP. Franmil Reyes has returned to the lineup, but they lost Josh Naylor to a gruesome leg injury. Mississauga's Josh Naylor. So very quickly here, I'll give Loshak the most recent line and see him take this away. The Indians open up at minus 168. We've seen a big 19-cent move at Pinnacle to minus 187. And this total, only a 4-cent move to the over 9.5 minus 108, now over 9.5 minus 112. Take it away, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I wouldn't call it low-hanging fruit, but it's maybe just don't overthink it. I can't not do it. Play. Urena is at some point in his career might be undervalued and might come around. But these struggles that he's having right now are totally because of an injury that he is, obviously still probably not obviously, but very likely still being affected by. Why doesn't Cleveland just get him out of there? Because they don't really have any. Detroit get him out of there because they don't really have any other options. As Nutflush Allen said, what Nutflush Allen said, he said bad teams at the end of the first half just tend to give up a lot of runs, and it's exactly because of situations like this. They're like, all right, if we're going to lose a game, why don't we lose it by 10? Who cares if we lose it by 3 or 10 or whatever? So here you go, Urena. They're going to run him out there again. He's been getting hit. He's injured. Let's try to help him out. And if we can't, all right, another bad start for him. So, it's just the most obvious play in the world. But Cleveland, first 5 team total over, which is right now at Heritage 2.5 minus 140, has to be at least a lean, and maybe I'll make it an official play.
Absolutely. That makes a ton of sense. Quick shout out to Don't Ask, Don't Tail. Little $10 dono. Our guy, Don't Ask, Don't Tail. Says, show me the way to the Taint. What a guy. He supports us day in and day out, and we love him so much. Big shout out to Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Also, Drew Martin
Okay.
Drew Martin in the
Oh,
house.
shit. Drew Martin. Good. Great human. Fucking shout out to you, Drew Martin. Great human being in person and online. Hell yeah, Drew Martin. So fun hanging out with him in Costa Rica.
Tigers, Indians, the first 5 team total over from Cleveland could almost be considered ground fruit.
No, but it's not because it's too obvious. And Urena, it's at some point he's going to be better, probably more. This is not low hanging fruit. This is just don't overthink it. And if it loses, whatever. All right, I'll make it an official play. Cleveland team total over, first 5, 2.5 minus 140. That'll be an official play. And if it loses, whatever. We
have an official play. Let me pop this on. So this is the second official play so far. The leans may turn into official plays, but Indians team total over 2.5 at minus 140. By the way, the Dirty K prop is in. I've copied and pasted it. I'm all over betting this game too. So let's just pop it up. The Dirty K prop is in. We'll break it down further once we get to that spot. But shout out to our man, David Sharp. Sharpie's prop is in. Okay, so one thing. Oh, shoot, my fault. Let me get that off here. Thank you. Okay.
Wouldn't I have been a great Grateful Dead keyboard player? Go ahead. Yeah, Woodruff is awesome. I've been definitely on him much more often than not in his entire career, and I certainly would endorse a strikeout prop for him today.
247 average, by the way, Urena, 730 OPS against these Indians. So he's had some success against them in the past. Jose Ramirez 0 for 3 against them. JC Maya 0 for 2, a very, very small sample size. Let's take a look and see where the cash is in this spot. And we have 2,547 tickets in. The ticket count going up, so it's going to get better as the show goes on. 79% of the tickets on the Indians, 99% of the money line cash.
Yeah. If it were... I don't necessarily love taking a team total over with a team that just had a huge offensive day. That isn't, a juggernaut necessarily, but it's just, maybe the game will get rained out. Who knows? I know there's rain in the forecast. So, all right, it's an official play. If it loses, whatever.
We move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Kansas City Royals 33-44, 15-25 on the road at the Boston Red Sox 48-31, 24-17 at home. Fenway Park, Boston, Massachusetts. 86 Fahrenheit, humid, mostly cloudy, 8 miles per hour out to right center. Brad Keller going up against Victoria, BC-born Nick Pivetta. Keller 6-8, 6.39 ERA, 1.80 WHIP, 76 innings, 67 Ks, 37 walks, 12 home runs. Last start, you got hit hard. 5 innings, 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 4 walks, just 3 Ks. An 8-1 loss at the Yankees. Pivetta coming off a glorious start. 6 2/3, no hits, 2 walks, 8 Ks, and a 1-0 loss at the Rays. Royals don't hit righties, 241, 690. Can't say that about the Red Sox. They hit them hard, 254, 762 OPS. Royals bullpen 4.36 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. Red Sox bullpen 3.55 ERA, 1.39 WHIP. And I will not back the Royals unless Adalberto Mondesi is at shortstop. He is the straw that stirs the drink. He's so talented offensively and defensively. He's been out with no oblique injury. And as soon as he came back, he had a home run in his first at-bat. You could just tell the Royals were rolling, and then he gets hurt immediately with no oblique injury, and they start losing again. Pete, any interest here in Royals Red Sox?
I was all over the over yesterday and the first 5 over, and Garrett Richards getting hit, which happened. I guess I should have tweeted it. I don't know. That was a low hanging fruit play for sure yesterday. And today, I'm not a believer in Keller. Definitely not a believer in Pivetta. I'm feeling the same way about this game. A little less confidently, a little less strongly, but definitely feeling the same way. And there's also been a huge move in favor of Boston here. I hear you about KC, but at this line, especially at Fenway, at this line, I would definitely be leaning KC, and if I were going to bet it, I would take them, -1 or -1.5. But I'm definitely leaning overs any which way. Pivetta, great start at Tampa Bay last time, but he was getting hit a bit before. Definitely leaning, over, first half over, and first inning score, yes. Both of these guys tend to, I don't really trust either of these starters in this spot right now. And so those are my leans. I'm not sure which I want to make official, but definitely leaning, first 5 over, full game over, and score in the first inning, which let me see what those lines are. Why don't you take over, Jim, while I search for some odds here.
A 42-cent move to the Red Sox at Pinnacle, minus 170, minus 212. Only a 1 cent move towards the over. Just a 1 cent move towards the over. James Stacy, OG Lowbagger, rolling with us. And also Sharp Money, a great friend of ours from Malta, says, hey, guys, just here for the Gandalf look. You got it, baby. You got it right here. And
Gandalf / Grateful Dead keyboardist look, man. Right? It's a look. Ratings we could get. Yeah, the first score in the first inning is a little bit steep, actually, minus 164. That's a little steep. I still like it a little bit. My numbers like it a little bit, but my numbers actually put it, it might be wrong, put it more at like a 180 line. But, yeah. Score in the first inning, yes, minus 164. The first half total, what is that? Where is that?
At 6. It's gone from 5.5 to 6. And Matty Ice says, I lean first 5 under 6. When was the last time we got a first 5 under 6 outside of Coors?
Yeah. No, I don't really, I definitely don't trust Singer here. Don't really trust Pavetta here. And leaning overs. What can I say? Although yesterday's game didn't go quite, Richards got hit, but other than that, it wasn't explosive offensively. But that's okay. Definitely leaning overs here.
Leaning overs in this spot. Very, very, very interesting. Let's take a look at let's hit baseball data quickly. Against Keller, he's been good against the Red Sox, but again, he's been so bad this year. I don't know if we could take these numbers, for what we read them as. 214, 703 OPS against the Red Sox. Nick Pavetta, 345, 835 OPS. The Royals hit him, and he's coming off that spectacular start. And we take a quick look at where the cash is in this spot. We have 87% of the tickets and 97% of the cash right now on the Red Sox, 3,177 tickets in. And then we have 47% of the tickets, 98% of the cash on the under. Wow.
98% of the cash on the under.
That's very, very, very interesting. Now,
okay, a number like that definitely scares me.
Yeah.
Okay. No official play then. Definitely. I mean, I know I said earlier in the show that I don't pay much attention. Well, yeah. Yeah, I do pay attention to it sometimes in situations like this. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And when it's important for us to see when it is that, at what point you
because a 10.5 total at Fenway like this with starters with their peripherals, that's not an accident. You know what I mean? The people betting that money are, definitely know what they're doing.
Yeah, no, very, very, very interesting. So I keep telling you guys I have 9 bets on this card, but none off the hop, although I'm still very interested in the Yankees. I completely understand Pete's team total over 2.5 on the Indians. And let's move on to a game where I almost moved, but I saw the market moving in a different direction. I decided let's just wait to talk it out with the guys. We head over to Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. Let's start with the market move just so that will help direct sort of how I handle this here. We have Padres Reds. The Padres open up at minus 110. They're now at that's first 5. Excuse me. Sorry, let's go to full game. My fault here very quickly. Minus 110 to minus 114, first 5 for the Padres. But full game, they open up at minus 154. They're now at minus 144, so a 10-cent move towards the Reds. Also, this total has gone from 9.5 to 10. And my initial thought was that Tony Santillan was going to have a good start here at home. I was very impressed with his last start at home versus the Braves. I said here it was his second consecutive home start, and he had a tough start to his career in tough spots, and one of them was at San Diego. And now he's getting another home start, and this is a highly thought of young pitcher. 88 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 4 miles per hour out to left. Padres are 47-33, 17-18 on the road, eating at home, mediocre on the road. Reds are 39-38, 19-18 at home. Snell going up against a team that doesn't hit lefties. And we think of the Reds as a high offensive machine, but just 226.74 OPS versus lefties. Snell 3-3, 5.29 ERA, 1.55 WHIP, 66 in the third, 90 Ks, 40 walks, 10 home runs. We easily cashed a first 5 under in his last start. He went 5 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs allowed, 3 walks, 5 Ks, and a 3-2 win at home versus the Dodgers. Santillan, as I said, nice start against the Braves. Padres versus Reds, 241, 729 OPS. Padres bullpen, second best in the league, 2.85 ERA, 1.14 whip. And the Reds bullpen, atrocious, 5.49 ERA, 1.44 whip. Pete, take it away. I'd love to hear your insights on the spot.
I mean, this is very, very similar to the Detroit-Cleveland game. I don't like the spot for Snell. I did bet Cincinnati on the overnight line, and I took a shot with the Cincinnati first 5 team total over as well at 2.5 at big plus money. And I'm also leaning the first 5 over if you can get 5. It's definitely a down spot for Snell according to my numbers, which may be wrong, but I like them. And I bet San Diego on the overnight line as a big underdog. And I also took a shot with the San Diego first 5 team total over this morning, and thinking about the first 5 over. And that's it for now.
Sorry, you took the Padres early, but Padres are the favorite?
On the overnight, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting here with the Santillan. So, very interesting.
Sorry. Okay. The Reds. Sorry.
That makes sense.
Sorry. I took the Reds on the overnight line. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, because you said there's a big dog spot.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Von Polo on the same thing. Also here from Sharpie says Reds do hit left-handed pitching. Last 30 days, Reds are number 5 OPS for left-handed pitching. Snell is on the list of Spider Tack. I'm on the Reds team total over. Padres pen last 30 days has fallen off too. Fallen off to some extent, no doubt about it. There's still a strong pen. Yeah, and I know that Snell's on the Spider Tack, but a really nice start against the Dodgers last out, and somebody I still have faith in. And Red Girl says, Jimmy, the bag, take the under in the Red Sox game. Don't overthink it. There we go. Take the under in the Red Sox game. Don't overthink it.
Red Girl pulling the don't overthink it card. I love it. Sign of a true, confident professional. Shout out to you, Red Girl.
Only Naquin and Castellanos have seen Snell, and they're 0 for 8 against them. And then for Santillan, he got hit hard in that start at San Diego, but I expect a better start. I think that's a very interesting move, you backing the Reds here. Very, very, very interesting move. Let's take a look at where the cash is.
I got a good line. I got 146, which was,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So here we have that spot where 65% of the tickets, 72% of the cash are on the Padres, and yet the market is moving towards the Reds. 47% of the tickets and 76% of cash on the under. Interesting. So my first instinct was that Santillan, and did you say that you also were interested somewhat in that first 5 over?
Yeah, I mean, Santillan's a little bit of a wild card. I don't necessarily, I think it's a little bit of a down spot for him as well. But Cincinnati as a dog, according to my numbers, had value, and the market's moved that way. And I did take the Cincinnati first 5 team total over, and leaning first 5 over as well at 5. Not necessarily 5.5 though.
Very interesting.
It's one of those games that's all about the numbers. Obviously, if Cincinnati was a plus 110 dog, probably I would not be on them.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna need. Probably just going to have to end up staying off of this spot then. Okay, great stuff from all of you guys. Thank you for the help there. All right, we move on to finally a spot where I have 2 bets locked in. Not only that, but it does correlate with the Taint play of the day. Taint play of the day is the Braves run line at plus 120. Braves run line at plus 120 for sweet Taint. Taint hitting at 32 wins, 17 losses, 65.3%. So this has to be my favorite play on the board, Pete, here. So, and it's not me just sitting here drinking the juice of Charlie Morton, although I have seen pitchers when they get some consistent starts at home, go on an easy 2 or 3 game run, and then if that 4th start is on the road, we've seen this year, they get hit hard. He's looked very good. His last start was against these very Mets, and I'm not sitting here thinking he's going to go 7 innings and allow just 1 hit here, 2 walks and 11 Ks, but it's Tyler McGill who I'm fading here. So we talked a lot about him in that first start. No one had ever seen him before. I mean, we didn't even have – he'd only pitched in 3 games over AA in his whole entire career. 25-year-old, drafted in the 8th round, 2018 out of the University of Arizona. He has a high K per 9 innings ratio, very high. In 2021, 13.2 Ks to 9 innings and 8 starts between AA Binghamton, AAA Syracuse. But the Braves just saw him, and he was good, just good. 4 1/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 4 Ks, and a 7-3 win at home versus the Braves. Now they get to see him again, and Acuna wasn't in the lineup. So they're going to see him with Acuna in the lineup, and I think he's going to have a much more difficult day. I got the Braves first 5 -0.5, very expensive, -130. But last night I got the Braves -1 at -113. That was a money line at -155 and a run line at +125. What do you think of the analysis here, and what are your thoughts on this spot?
This one was a total pass for me. There's a lot of stuff here that I feel uncomfortable with, and that my numbers are kind of haywire with. But it's the Taint play of the day.
It is, and Taint's not messing around. Taint's on the run line at +120.
What is the Taint's record? It's something ridiculous.
It's 65.3%.
Well, I trust that. I mean, I'm not gonna add that to my slate just to try to pad my record. But that would be a factor that would be enough for me, especially on a game like this. If there's a game where I feel, completely lost on, and someone who I respect in a deep way loves it, that usually settles it for me. So that's my analysis of this game.
I love that they're going to see this kid for the second time in 5 days. We know that he wouldn't be in the show right now if they weren't dealing with so many injuries to their starting pitching staff. And the Mets against Morton, 156, 538 OPS. And I don't think I need Morton to be lights out to cash both of these. Let's see where the money is and if we have any reason to be concerned at all, because I don't at this point. Here we go. We have 60% of the tickets on the money line on the Braves and just 18% of the cash. Okay, well, now I'm a little concerned. Then we have 33% of the tickets on the under and 73% of the cash. Wow, that's some big bets made on the New York Mets. And Sharpie leans towards what? Sorry, it's not Megel leans towards Megel over 5.5 strikeouts +125. Kid is 1.5 Ks per inning in the minors. Hard to shy away from that, but totally see him getting hit. Wow. I'm just surprised that there's some big bets made on the Mets. As soon as I wanted to be super confident, they've taken a little bit away from me. But there you have it. Any last words on that spot, Pete? Or do
I honestly, I trust the Taint play of the day more than any and all of those bets that you just referred to, Jimmy the Bag. I can't believe there's bets on the Mets, the Braves, and this and that. I trust the Taint play.
Beautiful. Now, next spot here is a game that hasn't had a line out. Does it have one now? No, it doesn't. We do not know who will be starting for the Baltimore Orioles, going up against Jose Urquidy. Urquidy's been excellent. Last start was against these Orioles at Baltimore. He went 7 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 walk, 6 Ks. The Orioles don't hit righties at all, 219, 656 OPS. They've also lost Freddie Galvis, who's been quite good at short for them. He's out for at least a month with a quad injury. But we don't need to take too much time here on the Orioles Astros spot. We have a huge card, so we move on. We move on to another spot where I double dipped, and the first double dip hurt me badly. The market move has gone against me, and that was on the full game under. But when I saw the first 5 at 4, I went back at it, and I took the first 5 under 4 at -115. Unfortunately, I'm on the full game under 7 at +100, and we get to the Dirty K prop of the day on Woodruff, over 8.5 at +105. Says Cubs are number 4 in K percent all year, 25.8% versus right-handed pitching. The last 30 days, they are number 1 at 32%. Woodruff has gone up versus a top 10 strikeout percentage team has not gone in 2 months against the top 10 K percentage team. And when he did, he had 11 strikeouts. So this is coming from our David Sharpie. Here we go. The Sharpie Dirty K prop of the day is on Woodruff, over 8.5 Ks at +105. Pete, in this spot, what I saw was that Zach Davies is angry. He wanted to stay in Milwaukee for a long time, and he's taken it out on them in the few opportunities he's had against them. He was had a very interesting start, walking 5, not allowing a hit in that 4-0 win at the Dodgers last out. But I feel like he's just got a bone to pick here with the Milwaukee Brewers. And when I saw the huge amount of money coming in on the Brewers, I was like, oh, I couldn't believe my eyes. I don't know what it is. I'll check it out. But about 2.5 hours ago, I could have got the Cubs first 5 at plus 225. Yeah. I could have got them first 5 plus a half at plus 135. But I thought, you know what, with all the money moving towards the Brewers, let's just talk it out with the guys. But Woodruff, you already vouched for what you've seen from Woodruff in his last start: 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 9 Ks, 3-2 win at the Diamondbacks. Neither team hits righties. Cubs are just 218, 691 OPS versus righties. Brewers just 213, 660 OPS. Both bullpens are good. Cubs are now best in the league, and the Bruins bullpen has been moving in the right direction of late. Now 3.99 ERA, 1.31 WHIP. Anthony Rizzo sat out yesterday with a back injury. We know it's always a problem, always an issue. If he's out of the lineup, do we pull the trigger here? And then here Sharpie says, I'm also on Cubs first 5 plus at plus 125. Says Davies has stepped up first good pitchers. Dodgers and Padres left 0 runs. He steps up when he's going up against an ace and incredible numbers against the Brewers, which I'll go over in a second. Pete, what do you think of this spot, Cubs Brewers?
My Davies has historically been a very interesting pitcher. He's my reads on him have been correct more often than not, but when they're wrong, they're way off, which is fine as long as the bets are winning more than 50% of the time. My numbers say this is a down spot for him. I love Woodruff in general, and here for sure. So I definitely. If it were Milwaukee, anything under minus 200, I would give Milwaukee as a -1 play. It's getting up there, though, so I'm not sure. And again, Davies, my numbers say it's a down spot, and I trust my numbers on him, but my numbers have historically been way off on him about a third of the time or something. So, a 6-inning shutout start from him again would not be a shock at all. I like Milwaukee here at this line. I'll say Milwaukee -1 is a lean, but I don't think I can give it as an official pick. But I like Milwaukee here, and my numbers say down spot for Davies.
Against the Brewers, and maybe, because he really put it on the line last start against these Brewers, but 4 for 33 with a single, a double, a triple, and a homer. 121, 553 OPS against these guys. And Colton Wong's banged up. I don't even know if Colton Wong will be in the lineup. He's got a triple and a homer against them, but just 2 for 17. Against Woodruff, 136 with a 446 OPS. I like that. I really like that.
I don't want to get into too many specifics here, but if I'm guessing that maybe the market has moved because other people use the same numbers that I'm using, and my numbers are indicating it's not a good spot for Davies. That's all I'm saying.
I'm very nervous. I'm not going to be adding anything here. I'm not going to be adding anything at all. I'm very nervous about where I stand, and that's about it. Let's just take a quick look at where the cash is in this spot here. We have 67% of the money line tickets on the Brewers, 90% of the cash, 61% of the tickets on the under, 77% of the cash. Now, a lot of those bets could have come in once it moved to 7.5, so we can't take too much into that. But I'm very nervous, very, very nervous. And if today blows up in my face with getting in early on 9 bets, I will not be doing that for the rest of the week. And usually, Pete and I have had great success on our first show of the week because we're fresh and ready to rock. And maybe I should focus on just breaking these games down with the chat and looking at the market moves, because that's why my ROI has been so good this year. But we'll talk more about that as we move through the week. Mr. Gogster in the house says Woodruff is filthy. Elliot V joining us. John Garcia, Joey Harb. Great to see all you guys. Bleds W says, Pete, my birthday's Saturday. I think I could get an early birthday pick. Bleds W, 5 days early. Come on. There are rules, Bleds.
Yeah, that's stretching it a little bit. But you got it. I'll give you a birthday pick. And I'm not going to do what I did last time. The birthday pick lost because I was like, well, there's an obvious low-hanging fruit good play here. But I'm not going to make that the birthday pick. I'm going to make the birthday pick something else that is going to lose. So, no, yes, if you want a birthday pick, you got it. I'll make it. But it might be one of the picks I've already given.
8:10 p.m. Eastern next up on the docket.
What was that guy's name? What was that guy's name?
Bled W, OG Lowbagger. Bled W being with us.
Bled W. Oh, shut up. Bled W. Bled W. Okay, great. Excellent. Got it. All right. Okay.
We move on. Twinkies, White Sox. Twinkies are 33-43, 16-20 on the road to the Chicago White Sox, 45-32, 28-14 at home, 78 Fahrenheit, overcast, 4 miles per hour, sideways out to the left field pole. Kenta Maeda 3-2, 4.85 ERA, 1.44 WHIP, 52 innings, 50 Ks, 15 walks, 11 home runs. Has not looked as good this year. Coming off a 4-2 win at the Rangers, where he allowed 2 solo shots. That's it. 5 1/3, 5 hits, 1 walk, 4 Ks. Going up against Giolito, another pitcher who has not looked quite as strong this year. 5-5, 3.80 ERA, 1.10 WHIP, 87 2/3, 110 Ks, 29 walks, 17 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings, allowed 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 walks, 7 Ks, 6-3 loss. At the Pirates, the Twinkies are hitting righties pretty hard. 241, 743 OPS. White Sox just 242, 711 OPS. The White Sox bullpen has been good. 3.96 ERA, 1.31 WHIP, 22 of 36 converted save opportunities. Twins bullpen being terrible all year, 4.77 ERA, 1.37 WHIP, converted 19 of 30. And Jose Abreu expected to be back in the lineup for the White Sox. Let me just give you a market to work with, Pete, in this Twinkies White Sox spot. We have the White Sox opening up at minus 128. They're now at minus 126, a 2-cent move towards Minnesota. And the under 8.5 opened up at minus 110. It's now minus 109. So no move there. Take it away.
Yeah, well, the birthday pick that I lost, first official birthday pick of the new Loshak in the Bag shows, involved Lucas Giolito. I bet an over with Giolito starting at Pittsburgh, and that one lost. Although didn't they score? They scored like 6 runs in the 6th inning or something like that. It was the first 5 over, something in the 7th inning, something like that.
Yeah, they did right. No, I think it was the 6th. It was right afterwards.
This one, but before the rain out, I had taken a shot with the over 8, full game over 8. It's relatively low total. Giolito and Maeda are both still admirable starting pitchers, but a total of 8. In this kind of a ballpark, I was willing to take a shot with the over, and I'm still leaning that way. I don't like it as much as before, not nearly as much, but I still like it a little bit. Thinking about the Minnesota and Vegas, slight lean to Minnesota as well as a dog, and thinking about giving Minnesota team total over 3.5 a pick. That would be that would be another fade of Giolito. What can I say? I might be wrong here, but I'm looking for him to be a little bit more hittable going forward, although that might just be a wrong analysis, but that's what I'm thinking.
Very interesting. Maeda against the White Sox, good numbers, 229, 732 OPS. Giolito, same sort of deal against the Twinkies, 220, 744 OPS. Let's take a look at where the cash is for this spot. We have tickets-wise, 2,042 in, 71% of the money line tickets on the White Sox, 77% of the cash. Then we have 48% of the tickets on the under and 53% of the cash. So it doesn't really help us here. Sharpie says, I lean Maeda over 5.5 Ks. White Sox last 30 days are at a 28% K percentage versus right-hand pitching. 27% is considered bad. And Giolito, spider tack, still gets his Ks but gives up some runs. Interesting, Giolito to get touched up a little bit here.
All right. I'll make it an official play. Twins team total over, full game 3.5 minus 126. Whatever. Who cares? I care. That's boo. All right, there you go. Twins team total over 3.5 minus 126. It's just I get so nervous when people bet picks. That's why I can't give out like plus 200 dogs willy-nilly because someone's going to bet it and over-bet it and feel bad. It freaks me out. But, oh, wow, Stephen Priest likes the first 5 under. Wouldn't be surprised if that Boston Nick MMA, shout out to you. Wouldn't be surprised if that hits. I might be getting burned here again, fading Giolito. It's a very mild fade, though. Team total over 3.5, but I'll take it.
I think your fading of Giolito might be
a mistake.
Sharp look here.
We'll see. I mean,
you have 29% of the tickets right now and just 23% of the cash on the Twins. So why is the market not moving towards the White Sox?
Because the people betting on the White Sox are deemed stupid by the sports books. That's why. I guess. I don't know. Yeah. A lot of sharp money on games like that comes in right before game time though. So, this is the type of game that I would expect if there is going to be any substantial sharp money to come later, for it to come later. Because you're not going to get a game like this with some, overnight line that's significantly off.
You're right. But I'm certainly moving towards a lean to the Twins. Yes, Danny, we have both have come in. The Taint play of the day and the Dirty K prop. The Dirty K prop is Woodruff over 8.5 Ks at plus 105. The Taint play of the day is the Braves run line at plus 120. Plus 120. 20. All right, that was very very interesting. Here's another really interesting spot. Look, it was a very easy cash in Carlos Martinez's last start. We took the Pirates first 5 at plus 130. They won the game 6-1. It felt so easy. And I'm hesitant to go back to the well, and I'll break it down a few different ways. Maybe I should not be so hesitant. So let's break it down. 8:15 p.m. Eastern, Arizona Diamondbacks 22-58, 10-34 on the road at the Cardinals 38-41, 21-18 at home. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. 85 Fahrenheit, humid, mostly cloudy, 4 miles per hour in. Caleb Smith, his spin rate has gone down, but his last start at home versus the Brewers was very good. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 6 Ks. He's 3.03 ERA, 1.26 WHIP overall in the season. Carlos Martinez is being the worst pitcher probably in Major League Baseball this year. 3-9, 6.78 ERA, 1.44 WHIP. He allowed 5 earned runs, 5 hits, 1 home run in his last start against Pirates. Also 7 walks, 2 Ks. But Arizona does not hit righties at all. 228, 657 OPS. Cardinals do hit lefties, although those numbers have gone down drastically in the last month and a half, maybe even. 244, 727, OPS. Arizona's bullpen train wreck, 5.34 ERA, 1.53 WHIP. Cardinals bullpen okay. Also, the Diamondbacks have lost Ketel Marte to a left hamstring strain on Monday. So many things to go over here, but let's hear Loshak's first take very quickly. Minus 150, the Cardinals open up at, and now minus 155, the 5-cent move towards them, and total gone from 8.5 to 9.
Yeah, I warned you about Smith in his last start, Jimmy the Bag, if you remember, and I was wrong. He had a good start. My numbers said be careful, and I was wrong. Martinez, train wreck, as you said. This series actually has been interesting. People have been talking about unders. I'm not exactly sure why we've been getting 9s in this series, but I bet the under 9 each game so far. No, just yesterday, right? Yeah, I bet. Oh, but then in the Pittsburgh series as well, I was betting unders in that one. I think these totals at St. Louis are maybe a little bit too high. Not exactly sure, but so with almost any starting pitchers with these two lineups in this park and a total of 9, I'm going to be looking hard at the under, and if not betting. But this is very, very difficult to bet an under with Carlos Martinez right now. So I'm definitely leaning Arizona at this line. First 5 plus a half run. It's just Martinez is auto fade. We used to at my old job long time ago, 6 years ago, we used to have an auto fade list. There's always 5 or 6 starting pitchers who were on the auto fade list, and Charlie Morton, I believe, at one point was on that list. This Carlos Martinez is an example. It can't just be someone who's just like getting hit a little bit or kind of sucks a little bit. It's just like no-brainer auto fade. There's usually a handful of starting pitchers in the majors who are like that. Carlos Martinez is like that right now. So anytime a starting pitcher on the auto fade list is a big favorite, it was a no-brainer play on the other side, even if there's factors that make you uncomfortable, which Smith's spin rate and my numbers on Smith make me uncomfortable. But I think Arizona first 5 and first 5 plus a half run are definitely leans, and maybe I'll make one of them an official play. Go ahead, Jimmy the Bag. What do you think?
Well, maybe I will too. So the first kind of pause, well, obviously with the spin rate. The second pause was in just 11 at-bats against the Cardinals. They're 3 for 11 with 2 home runs, but it's about who hits the home runs. It's Goldschmidt and Arenado. Yeah. And when the big bats get to him, that scares me a little bit. Carlos Martinez against the Diamondbacks has great numbers, 152, 460 OPS. Now, look, he's been so bad this year, so maybe we don't need to worry about that.
I don't know what his spin rate is. This guy was using sticky stuff. I don't even know if he was getting helped by it. But, we know what Carlos Martinez's deal is. He's a sketchy guy, and sometimes that is rewarded professionally. But he was definitely using sticky stuff, for sure.
Definitely. And we have 2,156 tickets in. With those tickets in, we have 59% of the tickets on the Cardinals, 70% of the cash, 65% of the tickets on the over, and 56% of the cash.
All right. Diamondbacks first 5 team total over 1.5 minus 150. If it loses, that's fine. This reminds me of one of Jay Happ's last starts where he was the opposing team's team total was 1.5. And I was like, are you kidding me? At least put up a friggin' 2.5 minus 135 or something like that. 1.5. for Carlos Martinez, who walked 7 batters in 2 innings or whatever he did his last start. Official play, Arizona Diamondbacks. First 5, team total over 1.5, minus 150. If it loses, at least I created some great content in selling the pick, right? As I just did. Right?
And Steve Preet says Martin is 370 average out. Yeah, and Chris Brady saying the sample size is small. It is small. I just don't like seeing that the big bats have got to him. I guess in the end, this is going to be a no bet, but I think that your look makes a ton of sense. I mean, 1.5. They're going to give a 1.5. I know it's juice, but still a 1.5 for the pitcher is a 6.78 ERA.
The D-backs, okay, they're major league hitters still. You know what I'm saying? If you have some guy who just lost all of his control, is going off the rails, a major league lineup's going to get to him.
Okay, very, very, very interesting. So
that's right, and definitely a lean to Diamondbacks first 5 innings at a plus line, plus 120 or whatever it is. But that's just a lean, not an official pick.
Okay. Let's move on to 8:40 p.m. Eastern. This is a double up spot for me. Again, when Taint came out with the look on the Braves run line, he also said that he loves the Rockies minus 0.5, but it's minus 135, a little too juicy for Taint, so it's Braves run line. I also love this spot for the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah.
Now, Chase DeYoung coming up against, and Chase has been fine. He's been adequate, and he has a very good start against Colorado already this year, but it's German Marquez that looks like he's turned the corner for his season. Pirates, Rockies, I got the first 5 minus 0.5, minus 135. I got the Rockies minus 1 at minus 129. That was a minus 165 money line and a plus 105 run line. 74 Fahrenheit, 10 miles per hour to left center here in Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Chase's last start was a 4-3 loss at home versus White Sox. He allowed all 4 of those runs in 4 2/3, 7 hits, 1 homer, 2 walks, 6 Ks. German Marquez, and this was one of the bets that really aided me last week that I didn't roll with you guys. I got talked out because of Marquez's home and road splits.
Oh, yeah.
It just –
You're on that.
Everybody here, too, all the chat were all over the Rockies. And I had planned to do it, and then I talked myself off at the very last minute. But he looked great. 2 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot. 0 walks, 7 Ks, 5-2 win at the Mariners. The Pirates are hitting 234, 662 OPS versus righties. They don't hit them. The Rockies don't hit righties either. The Pirates bullpen, much better than the Rockies bullpen. Colin Moran was removed from Monday's game against the Rockies after being hit by a pitch on his left wrist. I'm not sure if he's going to be in the lineup, but this Pirates lineup doesn't have a ton of depth. I doubled up here on the Rockies. Pete, what is your take here, Pirates-Rockies?
Yeah, I had the Rockies and the under yesterday. I will admit that. Not that I didn't have losers on yesterday's card as well. I just don't talk about them. But I did have Colorado and the under yesterday. And I took Colorado on the overnight line here again. DeYoung is, a fly ball pitcher, not really necessarily well made for this park. Marquez kind of the opposite, off a great start, but I think he's going to have another one here. And an interesting prop. I talked about this on Twitter a little bit. This is a prop. The Rockies in Marquez's last 5 home games, they've scored first in all 5 of those starts, 5 starts in a row at home. And as the home team, you get a little bit of a dog line on that one here. It's a little bit of a squarish, not particularly sharp way of breaking down a betting line, but I think there's a little bit of value with Colorado to score first at plus 14 on the overnight line. I definitely bet Colorado -1, and that's definitely a lean here. I have to think about whether I want to make that an official play, but both of those are picks that I bet, and as of right now, I'll just call them leans, but not official picks yet. But that's what I think of this one. No reason to think Marquez is going to have an off day here, and DeYoung looks a little bit vulnerable. There you go.
I love your look on Rockies to score first. It's one of those spots when I hear the breakdown, I think, why wasn't I already on it? It's already at -115 at Bet365.
What, to score first?
Yeah.
Oh, at Pinnacle, it's Rockies to score first is plus 115 at Pinnacle. Team to score first.
Yeah, Pirates are -125, first team to score. Colorado Rockies are -115.
Oh, well, that's because that's because of the juice. Yeah. Okay. But still, it's still the no vig line is more towards Colorado there than Pinnacle for sure.
I think that is a great look. You just got to get Marquez to get through that first few batters, and I've already doubled up here, so I'm not going to add a third. But I think I wish I had have recognized that was a good look earlier. Great breakdown. Let's take a look at where the cash is here.
I made the decision. I'll make the Diamondbacks' first 5 team total over 1.5 minus 150 as the birthday pick for Bled W. Okay?
Ooh, okay.
Martinez, man. Who knows with these major league players, these professional athletes, anything's possible. I hope this one wins. Diamondbacks, first 5, team total over 1.5 minus 150. For betting on Martinez's shakiness to continue. Birthday pick. Happy birthday to you, Bled W, on Saturday.
I love it. So I already mentioned the nice numbers that Chase has in that one start against the Rockies, but Marquez against the Pirates, 265 with a 757 OPS. When we go over to Sports Insights to see the cash, we have where is it here? Where's the Rockies? Here we go. We have 73% of the tickets on the Rockies, just 59% of the cash. That's a little concerning. 73% of cash on the tickets on the under and 73% of the cash on the under. And we have Sharpie here, who's on Pittsburgh first 5, team total under 2.5 minus 130. Says take out the Rockies bats and ride Marquez. He's been good to him. There we go. So Rockies double up spot, and the birthday pick is in. We move up to another double up spot, but a little differently. And this kind of made me nervous in that. So I want to open with looking at the market. Rangers, Oakland Athletics here, Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. And let's first go to the market here. We have the A's opening up at minus 175, now at minus 174. This total was initially juiced to the under 8.5. It's now juiced to the over 8.5. I would like to then see where the cash is, so if I should be legitimately nervous or not in this A's spot. We have 88% of the money line tickets and 95% of the cash on the A's, and it's not moving very much. It's a little uncomfortable. And Fulton Avich has been pretty good lately, but he's been pretty good in consecutive home starts. And he just faced this A's squad, and he won. He won in this spot, 5-3 win at home versus the A's. This was a day where I had the A's on the -1 from the morning earlier. We came to the show. I saw that the public was on the A's, but the market was moving towards the Rangers, and I didn't have the balls to buy back on the other side. And Fulton Avich had a great start at home, a second straight home start. Now he faces them again on the road. And Caprillion, who's been good, he went 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 4 Ks, and a 5-3 loss in that game against Fulton Avich. But I feel like, I know that swirling winds at Oakland Coliseum, 10 miles per hour out to left center, 65 Fahrenheit. And the A's at righties, okay, 234, 726 OPS. The Rangers don't, 229, 686 OPS. I think both can get touched up a little bit here. So I moved on to Texas, Oakland first 5 over 4.5 at minus 105 as soon as it came out on Bet365. And I'm also on the A's -1, minus 137, thinking that Fulton Avich was very good in 2 home starts. Now he faces the same team again and on the road.
Yeah.
And nice to see that Sharpie's on that same spot. Says I'm on the first 5 over 4.5. We have 2 pitchers seeing same team in 5 days. Caprilion's gone back-to-back for same team once this year. Didn't make it out of the 3rd inning. This is a smash and grab. Pete, what do you think of this spot here, Rangers Ace?
Oh, nice analysis, Jimmy the Bag. I had some preliminary numbers that said that Texas was a little bit too big of an underdog, but I didn't bet it. And then I also have some pitcher numbers that says this is a down spot for Fulte, for sure. I like your take on it. I didn't bet it. I definitely don't have a lean towards Texas, although, I had some basic numbers that said they were too big of a dog, little by a little bit, nothing crazy. I like it, but it's definitely feeling like a down spot for Fulte. Maybe the Oakland team total over. I was thinking about that. I like your overall take on this game, Jimmy the Bag.
Thank you. I'm excited about it. Who do you trust seeing these guys 5 days later? And when it came down to it, my answer was neither of them. Even though Caprilion's been so good at home. So, we shall see.
My numbers like the Oakland situation better. Not that they're correct.
And I'm on the -1. I just knew this was going to be a public spot, and I just had that vividness or recency bias of it burning me last out. Against Fulton Avich, he's got good numbers right now, 225, 737 OPS. Against Caprillion, 235, 786 OPS. So that's a double-up spot here for me. Sterling Gentry in the house, great to see you. Mike M is on liking the A's team total over 4.5. Steve Priest saying Texas, Joey Gallo, 3 home runs in the last 2 games. And I like being with Sharpie on that first 5 over 4.5. Okay, we move on to the last game on the card, and I'm extremely excited about it. extremely excited about this spot, but it was a mistake getting in when I did. We will talk about my mistake here, but let's first bring on our man on the ones and twos, Jose Say Hey play of the day in business right now, right here. Jose, my friend, how are you?
Jimmy, I'm all right. I'm trying to recover from a hectic morning. I have a rental car right now, Jimmy. That was fun. I got to be an adult today in the morning, and I slid in right on time to make the show. So we're having a good time.
You did, and I'm surprised you found a rental company that will rent to somebody under 25.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I guess I didn't know that was a thing.
In Canada, you could not have rented that car. We would not have let you.
Maybe it's because of maybe I look older than 25. I don't know.
You don't. Giants, Dodgers, Jose, what a situation here. I mean, could you imagine a couple years ago when Kevin Gausman would line up against Walker Buehler and you'd say, well, Gausman is the best pitcher on the bump? I mean, that's just a wild 8-1, 1.49 ERA, 0.77 whip, 96 and 2/3, 112 Ks, 20 walks, 7 home runs. His last start against the Angels, who were hitting the ball hard, and hitting righties hard. He went 7 innings, allowed just 1 earned run, 9 Ks, and 1 walk. Going up against Walker Buehler, who does not look as strong lately, especially the last 4 or 5 starts. Last out, 4-0 loss at home versus the Cubs, 3 earned runs, 5 hits, 2 homers, 2 walks, 6 Ks. And I made the mistake of taking the under 7 at plus 100. And I wish that I had not. It's now at 7.5, and the juice is going down by the minute. I could have got very limited juice on a 7.5. A mistake. Jose, how you been in this?
Well, Jimmy, I've told you, I've long documented it. I have not betted under since the spin rates, doctored baseballs, all that good stuff, where we're calling it nowadays. Today's my first under. I'm proud to announce it. I've broken my streak. It was June 3rd when they started. This is now June 29th. So now I'm on the first 5 under 3.5 here. Kevin Gausman has been crazy. It's been honestly shocking how good he's been. Shout out to Molly, the gambling dog, by the way, walking around here. But it's been insane. I think he's still on the qualifying offer too. So he's a guy that needs to pitch well to get his money, and he obviously has done it so far. Walker is a great pitcher, one of the best pitchers in baseball, the best pitchers on the Dodgers staff, I would say, and I think it's pretty comfortable. Hasn't been great the last 2 starts, you're right, but it's been 2-3 earned runs in those starts, and still, that's still good for a normal human being. Just Walker Buehler is not one of those guys. That he's just a normal human being. And against these Giants, average against 185, a 3 FIP. Kevin Gausman has experience with these Dodgers, but I really do think that if you toss his numbers out from the last years, just look at his numbers from this year against the Dodgers, you get a better idea of what he's pitching like. I mean, his older numbers don't indicate what he's been doing this year. I'm on the first 5 under, like I said, 3.5. It's one of those low numbers that I was playing at the beginning of this year when everyone was using your spider tack and everything. But I'm all aboard the under train right here.
My plan was initially to double up when I felt like I made a pretty ugly mistake betting when I did. I'm not going to double up. My plan initially was to double up, but I'm not going to. The 3.5 we can get you. Best line is at plus 103 at Sports Interaction. Pete Loshak, what is your take here? And do you like Jose's look?
Here we go. Another don't overthink it play. Super obvious, and if it loses, it loses. I was actually I was on the Cubs in Buehler's last start against who was it? Davies, right? It's I'm going to take the Giants here first half plus 0.5. I'm not saying on that day, all of my plays won. I'm just not telling you about the ones that lost, but I was definitely on the Cubs at a plus dog against Buehler. The Dodgers in general have always had, a pitching system that produced better than expected results, and maybe that had something to do with foreign substances. I know that they obviously led the league by far in improved spin rates over the past bunch of years. Buehler, again, I'm not necessarily down on him, but I think a little bit of a reduction in expectations from him is warranted. Gausman, no reason to believe that he won't be able to continue what he's been doing. It's maybe the second or third most obvious play on the card, aside from two of the others that I made official picks. But Giants first half plus a half run, minus 133 at Pinnacle. Make that an official play.
I like it, and I wish I had Pinnacle right now because mine is sitting at.
Seen a lot of
minus
150 on that though, so
But minus 133 is a nice look. I think enough about that to even take it probably at the plus 110. Christopher Comatini says Giants were pathetic with runners in scoring position last night. Boston Nick says that he's going to have the same beard as Loshak in 2 months, and Jacksonville's though willing to bet him immediately that it won't come close. Willing to bet him immediately. Jose, tell us, what do you think about backing the Giants early? You think, because I think Buehler's poor starts go back more than 2 games. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I can pull them up and see if that is in fact true. But what do you think about the first 5 Giants, Jose?
I don't hate it. I mean, the thing is that this is big playoff atmosphere again in LA. It always happens when the Padres and the Dodgers play each other. But now the Giants have really asserted themselves in this division. And I mean, they're 2.5 games up right now on the Dodgers. This is must-win games for the Dodgers at home. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're back at full capacity as well. That would be my concern as well. I mean, how long has it been since the Dodgers played a meaningful baseball game? Let's just be honest with ourselves. Kevin Gausman's the guy you want on the mound, But the Dodgers away are hitting .218 as a collective this month against right-handed pitching, which would be my concern. They're not a good hitting team, but they just keep doing it. They keep finding ways to win. So I of course I don't hate the play. I definitely would rather play the first 5 rather than the full game. Absolutely. Because I mean, the Dodgers have to win games like this. Like I think if they're going to win this division, they have to win these games. So I don't know what the series prices are on these right now. Some books have them and some books don't. But Dodgers to win this series in general is also a good look. Like I said, they have to win. But for your Walker Buehler, by the way, Jimmy, he earned 3 earned runs against the Cubs, 2 earned runs against the Diamondbacks.
2 great starts.
Yeah, which and if you can argue that too. 2 earned runs against the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are terrible, but then he goes no earnings against the Rangers, no earnings against the Pirates, and then 3 against the Cardinals. So it's going to be a good game. The playoff atmosphere is going to be there. I think it's going to be low scoring, but I could absolutely see a Pete getting a solo shot from a Brandon Crawford or someone like that, or a Buster Posey comes out there, a grizzly veteran who has been there to kind of, relax everyone, like Donovan Solanos and people like that. So I'm all aboard there, Jimmy. I've talked myself all the way around. I like your first 5 look. I think we get low scoring affair. I could easily see this game ending like a 2-1 ball game, a 3-1 ball game, something like that.
Some kind of grizzly veteran getting something done. Looks
Exactly.
like he is, give me to that. Exactly. And he hits a home run. I feel you.
Exactly.
I like it. I need to. If I was to bet this, I would get the first 5 plus I have at minus 150. So I'm just going to take the Giants first 5 at plus 110.
Give me the bat.
So that will be my first addition. I'm also going to add, I believe, the Yankees, but we're going to go over all of our action here in a second. Spectacular work. Jose Piker says Jose with the William Hung hair today. I'm tailing.
I don't know who that is. I have absolutely no idea who that is. Absolutely no idea. By the way, Jimmy, last time we talked about my adornment of Asian men, Shohei Ohtani, absolutely dominating. Yes. We talked about it.
Yes, he's heard about your man love, and he's interested as well. He's interested.
I would pay. I actually wouldn't pay a lot of money, but I would pay a lot of money to go be in the outfield in Colorado, just blazed out of my mind, watching Shohei Ohtani hit fucking tanks.
Yeah, and maybe get a nice warm shower with him afterwards. I get it.
That would be nice. That would be the ideal scenario.
I get it. Jose, spectacular work. Jose is on the First 5 under 3.5. Gas station knows she bangs. Of course. First 5 under 3.5. By the way, gas station yesterday on the Tampa Bay Lightning -1.5 and the over correlated parlay. Shabam. Great stuff. Jose, thank you for joining us, and let's have a giant week. There he is. The Say Hey Play of the Day. I was like, man, is this the new music we have for the Say Hey Play?
Shit, sorry. I'm opening page and I have autoplay shit. Sorry about that.
It's all good. Okay, let's go over the entire card, and then we have Trotwam joining us for NBA. Let's go to work. Pete starts off with the Yankees -1. He got a -112 line. Now we've had another hour and 20 minutes of market analysis here. So let's see what's happened. Now we have we have 3,656 tickets. We have 61%. Oh, sorry, shit. I'm looking at the wrong game there. Sorry, my fault. Here we go. 3,215 tickets. 68% of the tickets on the Yankees, 91% of the cash. And what is the market move done now? We're going to go full game. Full game here with the Yankees, and the market has gone still no movement, really.
Yeah, I wouldn't just expect that now. We might see something. I wouldn't be surprised if we take a 10-cent move towards the Yankees, an hour before game time. We'll see.
Okay, I'm not sure, but I do think that Taint is going to have a good start here, and then we know that the Yankees have a much better bullpen than the Angels. We know that the Angels have beaten them. I don't want to talk about what happened yesterday. That's not been helping, so let's not talk about the 4-game winning streak there against the Yankees. I think you're right, and I'm going to add the Yankees -1 with Taint on the mound addition. Okay, so that would just be my second addition because I had 9 bets before the start of this. So stop me if I make a mistake here, Pete. Marlins, Phillies. No official play for you.
Oh God, I want to. Yeah, Marlins Phillies. I want to lean, definitely leaning first 5 over, and Miami. First 5 and full game team total overs. But yeah, just leans.
Just leans at this point. Rays, Nationals. No official move for you.
No, but I really want to fade Hill here. Definitely leaning Nats first 5 team total over, but I guess I'll hold off for now.
Ross coming off a really good looking start too. 7:07 p.m. Eastern, Mariners, Jays, no move for me, no official move for you?
No.
Then we have an official play for Pete, Indians team total over 2.5 at -140 in Tigers, Indians.
Yeah.
Next up, Royals, Red Sox, no official plays for either of us.
Although I'm definitely leaning score in the first inning at -164, although it makes me nervous, all that money on the under, and then Red Girl pulling the don't overthink it card on the under. Makes me nervous. I was leaning over, but, I'll hold off for now.
Trusty says his favorite play of the day is Indians -192. I know it's a lot of juice, but Indians are 8-3 against Tigers. 2 of those were the first 2 games of the season. And then Padres, Reds. I had planned to move on this game, and great stuff, insights from Pete and the chat. I'm not going to make a bet here. Padres, Reds, no move for me.
Yeah,
nothing for you, Pete?
I did bet Cincinnati on the overnight line. As a dog right now, it would definitely be a lean for me. And Cincinnati first 5 team total over 2.5 at plus money is definitely a lean. I can't make it an official play, I guess, but it's I bet it, and it's just a strong lean, I guess.
Then 7:20 p.m. Eastern, Mets at Braves. We have the Taint play of the day.
One other thing, and the first 5 over is a lean as well on Cincinnati, San Diego.
Yes, and that helped me get off my thoughts on the under. Braves run line +120 is the Taint play today. I already doubled up on the Braves. Braves -1 at -113. Braves first 5 -0.5, and the cash coming in on the Mets really made me nervous about this. 39% of the tickets, 80% of the cash. So clearly some big bets being made on the Mets, and that concerns me. And then Orioles Astros. We don't know who's pitching for the Orioles at this point. Then we have the Cubs Brewers. I made a mistake jumping in on the Chicago Milwaukee full game under 7 early. Could have got 7.5 at a decent price, but I did move on the first 5 under 4, and I wasn't worried about it at all until some ideas from Pete's numbers that Davies might be in a spot where he gets touched here. Dirty K prop Woodruff over 8.5, K's at +105. Anything for you here, Pete?
No, just that. I guess Milwaukee -1 is a lean, and I would give it as an official pick if it was under -200, but as of right now, I can't.
Here we go with that Twins White Sox. Loshak moved on the team total over 3.5 -126 for the Twins, and I lean toward the Twins and I should probably move on this. Let me just go back to the baseball data here. If I was to do this, I would only focus on the first 5, but I think that you have a nice look for plus money here. And the bats that you're most afraid of, you don't want to. Who sets the table? Tim Anderson, he's 1 for 11. Moncada 0 for 5. Abreu's obviously concerned, but he's 2 for 8. And then these Twinkies, who hits Giolito? Nelson Cruz is 9 for 23 with 4 jacks. Max Kepler 8 for 27 with 3 jacks. So I am going to add. So I'm going to have a third edition. I'm going to add the Twins' first 5 here. Adding the Twins' first 5. And you made official the team total over 3.5. Anything else out there?
No, not on that one, no.
Then Pete made the birthday pick, Diamondbacks first 5 over 1.5 against Carlos Martinez. Shocked that there's a 1.5. Shocked. Kevin Tantillo, by the way, whom we love, OG Lowbagger, says Braves bullpen seen drastic reductions in spin rate. Braves pen was bad when they were cheating. Don't trust Braves full game. I get it, Kev. I get it. I think that the kid on the mound for the Mets is going to get touched. It's going to get touched. So we have the birthday pick there for Bled's W's birthday on Saturday. Pete gave him D-backs first 5 over 1.5 minus 150. Then I've doubled up on the Rockies first 5 minus a half. Rockies -1 full game. Did you add something there? I thought you did. The team total?
The Rockies?
Yeah.
No, I just I bet Colorado -1 and Colorado first team to score. Those are both leans. I didn't make either of them an official play yet. It's just like, a lot of people, a lot of reasons that people think that I'm not like in the top tier of handicappers is because I am superstitious, very open about it. And, when I make a big joke and a big production about some prop play like that, it always loses. So I don't know if I want to make it an official play, Colorado to score first at plus money, but I bet it. It's a lean, and Colorado -1 is also a bet and a lean.
Then at 9:40 p.m., I have a double up action here. I have the Texas A's first 5 over 4.5 minus 105, and bet that about 2.5 hours ago. And then I have the A's -1 at minus 137. I bet that last night, and I was hoping there'd be a bigger move towards them. Market wise, we're not really seeing that. And Pete, you stayed off of that spot.
Which one is that?
The A's Rangers.
Oh yeah. Yeah, stayed off it, but I like your analysis and my numbers for what it's worth. See a down spot for Fulte.
And then we have Jose Seje play of the day, first 5 under 3.5 at plus 103. We have Pete moving on the Giants first 5 plus a half at minus 133. I love that look. Unfortunately, it's minus 150 in my book, so I have to move on the first 5 plus 110. That is going to be an addition. So I have 3 additions on this card. And sadly, I made a very poor decision. And I'm not going to make them anymore. I'm not if I have any concern that a total will move against me, a low total with all these spin rate issues and moving towards offense, I'm not going to bet it and not make that mistake.
The thing you should be thinking more when it comes to overnight lines is not how much you like to play, but where you think the line's going to move.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And one thing that's been working so well for me this year is I've not been making the same mistakes I've made in the past, and I've been consciously aware of those mistakes and cutting them out of my action. And that's been the biggest bump for me. It's just not making the same mistakes.
Yeah,
I'm not making the same
that's
mistakes.
very rare. Most people make the same mistakes that they made when they were 18 their whole friggin' lives.
So I am adding first 5 plus 110. There you have it. That is our MLB card with the legend Loshak. Excellent work too from the cappers in the chat. I absolutely love it. And now, Pete, we move on to the National Basketball Association.
Okay, yeah.
And one of our great friends, the man, he won the poker tournament in Las Vegas when we were there.
Awesome. That was so much fun.
It was. He picked up a cool 2K there to add to his glorious weekend. Originally from Compton, now making his home in Long Beach, California. Your man and mine. Please welcome to the show, Wham Bam in the house.
Hell yeah.
What's going on, fellas? What's going on? How's everybody doing?
Game. Tough game. We'll be interested to see what he has to say about this one. This is a tough one.
It is
man.
a very, very tricky spot. How was your trip to Vegas, by the way, Wham Bam?
Oh man, it was great. You know, the kids ran me dry, and I was out there in the desert dry as well. So it was a double hit there for me. But I mean, I was all right as far as gambling wise. It was terrible as far as picks, public picks, but kind of was quiet. Went under the radar there for a little bit. Tried to get my money back. So feeling good today. Feeling good today, and hopefully we could continue the winning, man.
Very interesting spot here in Atlanta. The Bucks open up at -6. They're now -7. This total has dropped 3 points from 221.5 to 218.5. East Finals Game 4. Milwaukee leading 2-1. State Farm Arena, Atlanta, Georgia. Young listed as questionable for this crucial contest. So injured his right foot Sunday. The ref ran to the ref. MRI performed. Says a bone bruise, averaging 32.7 points, 6 assists through the first 3 games. He scored 35 points Sunday, but just 3 after sustaining the injury. Chris Middleton, absolute monster game in Game 3, 38 points after struggling in the first 2, 24th quarter points. He outscored them alone. I don't have this in front of me, but I believe 20-17 alone. He was 15-26 from the field after going just 12-36 in the first 2 games. And Antetokounmpo, 33 points, 11 boards, second 30-point, 10 rebounding effort of the series. And my first thought before we go into the cash is Trae Young's going to play, and adrenaline will carry him through the first half. And it reminds me of what we saw with the Utah Jazz and Donovan Mitchell. He was running off adrenaline. He probably took cortisone shot or something. At first half, he was excellent. He was fully engaged. And then in the second half, the pain sets in and the not being explosive sets in. And he was poor in the second half. And I could see a similar situation here with Trae Young. How are you hammering this game? Trotwam, Bucks, Hawks, take it away.
Yeah, bro, I'm thinking the same way. I think it's going to be, like you said, it's going to be one of those guys like we see in football as well. These guys get the shots, they look good early, and then all of a sudden they fade later on in the game. After a while, you know, they're playing him tough as well, having Drew Holiday just pretty much, you don't have to worry about scoring, just guard Trae Young. He's all in his pocket, you know what I mean, as far as during out the game. We've seen how he looked afterwards as well. He was a damn near decoy, a corner man, you know what I mean? Just basically just camping out in the corner. Terrible to see that. He's responsible for 32.5% of the points in this series, man. Like, that's a third of the points. Without that guy, it's tough. But I think it's hard to go with these guys long term as far as full game for the Hawks. Just based off of what we've seen so far, they got out rebound by 15 rebounds as far as a 15 rebound advantage last game. Terrible there. Along with allowing these guys to score an average of 62.7 points in the paint for the series, bro. They just letting them go down there and do what the hell they want. They don't have really nobody down there but Capella, so I wouldn't be scared either if I was the Bucks. But saying all that, man, I agree with you. I think the Hawks early is the spot. I'm really close to pulling the first quarter, but I've already got the Hawks to score the first 10 points at plus 120. I think they get, like you said, early off. Just come out hot, and the crowd was rocking last game. I'm anticipating that to be the same thing for this game as well. The crowd to get these guys involved, and Trae Young to make their shots early. Kevin Huerter props are looking juiced for a reason, I believe, because you know you're thinking that he's going to be taking more of the ownership here. They don't have the points, rebound, and assist up on my book, so that shows me that the Bucks is on to that shit. So I'm kind of looking for that, but for the most part, I think that the Hawks early is the play here, like you're mentioning, and plus 125 is what I got. The first 10 points to be scored by the Hawks. That's how I'm looking at, bro.
Yeah, I like it. Mike M says, like Hawks first quarter, first half, never underestimate the power of the needle. Jacksonville Lowe says the spread stinks. If you like the Bucks, everyone's on them tonight. What do you think, Loshak, when you hear Wham Bam's breakdown?
You know, when I was first looking at this game, I was thinking basically what he said, Hawks early, but then Trae Young's injury really makes me nervous. My thoughts from Game 3 are that I think I like the Bucks to win the title at minus 120 over Phoenix or 110 or 115 or whatever you can get. The Bucks look a little bit too good. Makes me very nervous to bet against them. I'm not going to bet this game at all. If Trae Young weren't injured, I understand, the shots and the drugs and the, genetics and everything. I guess I'd be leaning Atlanta first half plus the points, but my main takeaway from Game 3 is I think I like the Bucks to win the NBA championship at whatever you can get, 110, 115, 120, whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
What do you think when you hear Lodals on the Bucks to win the championship, Wham?
I love that look, honestly.
Really?
As far as like you said, man, it has to come out of the East, man, here, because they're the only guys that have rim protection. As far as the Suns, they haven't seen any rim protection. I think we talked about that last Tuesday as well. Like, they don't really see any rim protection. Zubac is not a rim protector. Jokic and the Lakers didn't have a rim protector without AD. So, yeah, it did seem like that's kind of what you're saying, that they have a more of an easier way to the championship with the Suns. I wouldn't be surprised if the Clippers make it interesting. I think they could push this to a Game 7 for the Clippers game, but I'll just leave that there for another day. But as far as the Bucks, I'm concerned with Coach Bud, though, Pete. I'm gonna let you know that I'm concerned with him making adjustments, and it's annoying. It's just annoying just to have money on him. That's probably the reason why I'm not on the -7 there today, because I do believe that they could cover the spread today. But again, Trae Young did go through shoot around, so that's kind of another reason why I'm on it earlier. Looks like he probably will play. So, like you said, though, Pete, I do agree with you. As far as the full team is constructed here, it's got to be the Bucks. They just got a lot of guys that's stepping up, like Bobby Portis. And it's Chris Middleton a bust, though. So if Chris Middleton doesn't play well here, the Hawks are right back in it. Series tied 2-2. It's going to be interesting to see it. But, I'll just probably pass on the futures here for here on out, because I feel like I missed out on the Suns coming out the West.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move into player props here. I also think that if you want the Hawks first quarter, first half, sit back and wait, because money's just going to be pouring in on the Bucks all day. Now, maybe it doesn't pour in on them first quarter, first half, but we've already seen that. We've already seen 2.5s are on the board now. Well, 2.5 at a weak book, but I could imagine that 2.5s will be on the board possibly first quarter. So the quick thought, actually, before we get to player props, let's talk about the total here, Bam. We have the pace in this series at 98.50 possessions a game. The Bucks in the regular season played at 102.85 possessions a game. In the playoffs here, 97.79. There's not much to take from the pace other than it's playing sort of at the Hawk speed through the playoffs in the regular season. But we've seen a 3-point drop on the total. You could imagine that it's based on the Trae Young situation. But first half, we've seen it go from 108.5 down to 107.5. There are still some 108s on the board. Does anything interest you from a total perspective? Yeah,
the total is very interesting as far as the movement, of course. As far as the Bucks, if you like the Bucks, they've been scoring points, man. 17.7 fast break points in this series. Again, I already mentioned as far as what they're doing in the paint, so they really don't have to have that much. They're getting a lot of easy buckets, basically, if that's what I'm saying here. But as far as the Hawks, man, it's just tough to back them as far as the over here if you're looking to an over because, again, Trae Young is a third of their scoring, and if he's out, I'm sure he's responsible for more than that based off of his assistant as well. So without him not being fully healthy, it's kind of hard to take a over here. So I think I would agree with the line movement. It kind of just spooked me off of it because I'm leaning over here because I think the Hawks will make it competitive here.
And you would think that the Bucks are going to want to try to run Trae into the ground. Right.
So, which is the reason for the analogy about the football, because these guys in football, running backs, you get these guys shots, and all of a sudden you're starting to see, the second string guy in there a lot more than usual. So, I mean, him being a decoy was very interesting to see, man. Like, is he going to find some type of wide open looks on the corner? I don't think so. So it's tough to back the total on the over there.
Let's talk about player props. Is there any player that you have? I've got him up on my board right now. Is there any player you have your eye on?
Yeah, I was looking at John Collins is another guy that I was looking at as far as his rebounds. I know our guy DJ Big Boss has been hitting that consistently there in this playoffs here, but they have that off the board for me, so I can't bet that. Along another thing that's off the board that I was looking at as well before I woke up this morning was Kevin Huerter over points, rebounds, and assists. Seeing his assists and rebounds are at 7, but it's juiced at -140, so I don't want to take that there. I want to see if we can add the points there. His points is around 13.5, So I think they anticipate him having a great game today. I think if we get him around like maybe 19, 20, like 20 range, 21 maybe even, we could go over that as far as points, rebounds, and assists. But again, it's not something that I have available yet. So I'm looking for it though. But the only thing I locked in right now was the first 10 points for the Hawks. And I'm leaning first quarter +2 and the money line in the first quarter at +140.
And Herder props off the board right now.
Yeah, it's off the board
as well. Chris Middleton prop at 23.5 points. If I gave you a free bet on that, what do you do?
I think I'll take it over, man, because I mean he's showing that he's lights out right now. But again, in away team, as far as away team, he only scores about 22 points. That wasn't updated since he had this 38-point game, so I'm sure it'll probably be around like 25, 26, something around there. But it's kind of tough to back him because he's too streaky, bro. It's too streaky.
Trae Young opened the playoffs with 25.5 points was where he was listed. For the player props, it got up to 30.5, which is crazy. It's 28.5 here, juiced to the under. Piker Addicted has Kevin Herter to reach puberty at +9,000. It's one of his bets that you can. Who Bangin' Sports Talk here in the chat. We love you, Who Bangin' Sports Talk. Can you tell us a little bit about Who Bangin' Sports Talk and when the next show will be?
Most definitely. You can find me on Wednesday. Again, we was on vacation last week, so didn't have no shows cooking up. But again, we back live Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. I have Wham Talk Wednesdays going out every Wednesday. We're going to start capping some baseball, man. You know what I'm saying? Just got to start switching it up a little bit because it's going towards the end of the season. I'm going to have my guy Noli on as well. So hopefully we get my guy Noli on, talk about some unders. And then as far as Fridays, the Who Bangin' Sports Lounge every Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. And we're going to continue to do it, man.
I love it. Wham Bam, thank you so much for joining us. Will you stick around as we put a bow on this bad boy here?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Sweet. There we go. Wham Bam. So I like first quarter. I get it. First quarter. I'm going to wait. See if I can get it +2.5. But I think that makes sense. We have Mills, a.k.a. MMA Locker Room. He's on Bucks over 56.5 team total for the first half. And after all of these breakdowns, we have Pete liking the Bucks to win the championship. But Pete, you're going to stay off this individual game?
Definitely staying off the individual game. Trot Wham, if you don't have any thoughts on it, that's totally fine. If you do have any thoughts on it, why would you not like the Bucks against Phoenix in the finals?
So I would like the Bucks to win it just because they're finally seeing somebody that's playing defense. You know what I mean? As far as down in the paint. So I think that the Bucks are the better team. It's just that Coach Bud.
What would you be scared of? The coach?
I think, it's just Coach Bud is just so tough. I mean, he was just a few inches away from being fired, and Rick Carlisle to slide in his spot. So now that he's good, you know what I mean, he probably has a little bit more time here, but I just could see him falling off. And I honestly agree with you, though. And you're getting a good number at this point because you're only going to see it go lower and lower once these guys take care of business with the Hawks. So,
all right, I'm making an official low bag play. Whatever. Bucks to win the championship. I'll quote 120 right now. That's a heritage line. Just saw it.
Bucks to win the championship from our Pete Loshak at -120 for the chip.
You think there's any personnel issues that might disadvantage the Bucks?
I mean, you're going against a Chris Paul legacy, which is easy to go against. You're going against, these guys. Aiden's been great in the playoffs. Yeah. But again, no defense, man. Giannis is different.
Right. Yes. And Middleton's very impressive. He's just like a half-court monster. That's really in the playoffs. You like to see that kind of. You know what I mean?
And honestly, I think Cameron Payne he needs to play well. I mean, for them guys to do well as well. So you need somebody from the bench as well. So it's gonna be tough for them, man. It looks like he's really hurt.
Speaking of, I guess we'll have Wham on the show because can't wait to talk about Game 6 of the Clips game. But let's just wait and we'll have Wham Bam with us. Wham, thank you so much for your insights. Pistol Pete Loshak back in business here. We have big shows all day in 5 minutes. Babano and C-Mac here for MLB. 5 minutes. Jump over there. Don't forget 4 p.m. Eastern. We have Pub Hub, NBA Playoffs Pub Hub. That's with Dutch Boy, Fresh, Ski Profit, Babano, and C-Mac. And there you have it. There you have it. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. The Taint play of the day is the Braves on the -1.5 line at +120. The Dirty K prop is over 8.5 Ks at +105 for Woodruff. And then we have our guy Jose on the first 5 under 3.5 at +103 in the Giants-Dodgers game. So those 3 plays all coming at you at plus numbers. Pete, any last words before our man Wham Bam leches us out of here?
Not really.
Okay, there he is. The Legend Lodal's here every Tuesday on Pub Sports Radio. Thank you guys, all you guys. We got Lou, Zoe, Hubangin, Puzzler, Bruce Shad, Sterling Gentry, Mr. Gokster, who'll be back doing the NHL playoffs with us tomorrow. Danny A, Mally Mal, Rich G, Sharp Money, North Ender. What a great, great group. Christopher Comentini, Uncle Oliver. Thank you guys so much. MMA Locker Room, GG, Chris Brady, all you guys, Piker, Steve Priest, Wham Bam. Can you let us know where we can find you on Twitter and then leche us into the future?
Yes. Walter Trotter to some. Trot Wham on Twitter. Who Bangin' Sports Talk YouTube channel. Make sure you guys follow us all there. And like and subscribe at Pub Sports Radio. Only station, only YouTube channel that's going to be able to give you legendary content just like this. Like and subscribe there. Glad to be here with you guys. And while we at it, let's leche en los bookmakers.
Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.